Hello, church family. Ron Branscombe here. Hope you're having a blessed day. Today I'm going to bring to you chapter 79 of the book of Psalms. It's a psalm written by Asaph. And really, at this time, we find that God's people are held captive, and the city and the temple have been ruined and destroyed. And the heathen nations have been triumphant. And Babylon, along with the bordering nations who were glad to see this happen, is really, the thought is getting sand kicked in your face. Well, there was a lot worse things that happened to Israel at this time. And I'll say this too, chapter 78, that was 72 verses. Great job, Justin, for how you tackled that. I only have 12 verses or 13 verses, so I think I drew the small stick on this one. But let me break it down into four areas. Verses 1 through 4, Asaph is writing here that it's basically it's beholding God's judgment is the best way that I could describe it. Explaining in detail, they have left the bodies of your servants as food for the birds and of the sky. This is a true disgrace for Jews to not have proper burial. And this was, again, really a dreadful and tough situation for Israel. And they have poured out blood like water all around Jerusalem, and there is no one to bury the dead. And so, if you can imagine, this is just death and the stench that would surround all of that. And for Asaph, as he's sharing this psalm, as we study it, he's acknowledging God's judgment here. Verses 5 through 8. He's also acknowledging, feeling God's anger. And as I read this, I'm thinking, man, our nation, we're not anywhere to this point of what was happened to Israel, but gosh, I feel like we're feeling the anger of God's wrath as to how our nation has turned away from Him. But verses 5 through 8 is the feeling God's anger. Asaph is asking God to pour out His anger on these heathen nations. Look what it's almost the mindset of, hey, I know our nation has done wrong, but look at what these guys are doing to your people and your nation, Lord. And so really asking God to pour out His judgment on them. Verses 9 through 11, Asaph transitions to pleading for God's help. And then in the final two verses, 12 through 13, it's a promise to praise God, and that's the thing we see in these psalms is certain transitions. And what I love about these is usually by the time you get to the end of the chapter of these particular psalms, it's praising God. And so, even though we have challenges in our community and in our country, we have challenges in our lives. Things might not go the way we want them to go, but we should continue to praise God and glorify Him because of all the many other blessings that He has given us from small to large. And I leave it with, from generation to generation, we will proclaim your praise. And so I just ask you, as your current generation and for future generations, are you planting that seed of praising God? Pray that you have a great day. God bless, and Lord willing, we will see you on Sunday. Take care.